Okay, here we go. This is the last lesson for the scale. We're looking at the derivatives of trig functions. Now, the two that you need to memorize are written right here. The derivative of sine of x is equal to cosine of x. The derivative of cosine of x is actually negative sine of x. You do need to memorize those. If all else fails, as long as you know those two, you'll be able to find the rest. So let's go ahead and find some derivatives. So we are going to find f prime of x if we have x cosine of x. So we need to use the product rule, 1, 2. So we have 1 times d2 plus 2 times d1. And we can simplify that. So we have negative x sine of x plus cosine of x. And we're done. We can use those to derive the next four, but the derivative of tangent is secant squared. The derivative of secant is secant tangent. The derivative of cosine is negative cosecant squared. And the derivative of cosecant is negative cosecant cotangent. So to verify this, I'm going to actually do this. The derivative of tangent is the same as the derivative of sine. Didn't mean to put that there like multiplication over cosine. Now we're going to do the quotient rule. So low d high minus high d low over low gives me this. Cosine times cosine, which is cosine squared. Negative sine times negative sine is positive sine squared. And then I squared the denominator to get cosine squared. And if you think back to pre-calc, which has been a while, cosine squared plus sine squared is 1. So 1 over cosine squared is the same as secant squared. So there's a proof to help you find one of those. Okay, next one. Find the tangent line to the graph of y at theta equals pi over 4. So we have two functions here. Sorry, two functions. When we find the derivative, we need to use the product rule. So 1 d2, which is secant and tangent, secant of theta, tangent of theta, plus 2 d1, which is secant squared. And you can simplify this if you would like. So secant of theta, tangent squared of theta, plus secant squared of theta. And at pi over 4, we have the point square root of 2 over 2, square root of 2 over 2. So we can go ahead and use those. So y prime at pi over 4 is going to be secant of pi over 4 times tangent squared, and then secant, and that should be to the third power, not to the second. So secant of pi over 4 to the third power. So at pi over 4, secant is the reciprocal of cosine, which is really just the square root of 2. And at tangent of that angle is 1. And so the secant squared is square root of 2. Sorry, not third, to the third, not squared. So I get the square root of 2 plus 2 square roots of 2, which is 3 square roots of 2. So that's our derivative at the point. Our actual function at that point, since we need to write the tangent line, is going to be 1 times the square root of 2, which is the square root of 2. So our actual tangent line here is y minus the square root of 2 equals 3 square root of 2 times x minus pi over 4. And actually, I'm not going to use x, I'm going to use theta. Okay, so here's our tangent line. Really, that's it. Here's your summary. Okay, again, you must memorize those. If you know those, you should be able to come up with the rest if you forget them. I'm going to cross these last 3 off. But that's it for the unit. Let me know if you have any questions. Have a great day.